Well, things haven't been going so great for the Milton Ice Hawks early in the season, but they were firing on all cylinders against the Chargers last weekend. More on that later. This is the OJ Today. Welcome, folks. I'm Alex Bastiavansky, bringing you all the latest from the Ontario Junior Hockey League. On the show today, Commissioner Marty Savoy joins me here in the studio to talk about all kinds of exciting upcoming stuff happening in the league. Also, we'll have a feature on one of the most improved teams over the past couple of seasons, the Orangeville Flyers. All that's coming up later on. But first, let's get to the Gong Show Gear game highlights. And last Friday was a special night in Aurora as the Tigers had their annual Pink in the Rink night in support of the South Lake Regional Cancer Center. A great event for a great cause. And to top it off, it was the Battle of Yonge Street as the Tigers took on their bitter rivals, the Newmarket Hurricanes. Game highlights now, brought to you by Gong Show Gear. Gong Show Gear, lifestyle hockey apparel, official sponsor of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. And yes, it was the Battle of Yonge Street, Newmarket, heading up the road to take on the Tigers. And as mentioned, it was Pink in the Rink night for cancer research. Tigers looking good in pink. And just a minute 17 in, Drake Board gets tied up by the Hurricanes defender. And yep, it's a penalty shot. Board cuts in from the side and buries it. Tigers draw first blood. Up 1-0 very early on, and then it's Aurora on the power play. Liam Ham with the howitzer from the point that beats Dalton Ewing. Tigers increase the lead to 2. On to the second period we go now, and we pick it up at 3-0 Aurora. Newmarket gets one back with the man advantage. The initial shot stopped. Marco Bozzo pots the rebound, and the lead is cut to 2. On to the third, Tigers up 4-1 at this point. Ryan Shaw threads a pass to Alex Fermenton. Shoots, scores. Nice passing. Aurora up 5-1. Liam Newman made it 6-1. Then Keegan Matthew bides his time out front. Cleans up the garbage. 7-1 Aurora. And that was how it finished up. A decisive victory in the Battle of Yonge Street. Aurora coming on strong as of late, and they've actually taken over first in the North Division. Okay, on to a South Division battle now, and the South has turned into a real dogfight. North York, Oakville, and the Junior Canadians are all within a point of each other for top spot. Last Sunday, the Blades and Rangers hooked up for bragging rights, and Oakville made quite the statement. The Rangers were cruising right along heading into this contest, winners of 6 straight, but it's the Blades that get things going. At the 5:15 mark, as Josh Kosak tips home the Nicholas Alvaro point shot. 1-0 Blades. With much more to come late in the frame, Tyler Rollo and Ian Blacker with a 2-on-1. They executed to perfection. Blacker with his first OJHL goal, and it's a nice one. 2-0 Oakville. Ryan Foss made it 3-0. That's how it stood heading into the third, where Braden Sampson hits Rollo with the gorgeous pass. Oakville fully in control. Up by a 4 spot, and then to rub salt in the wound, Rangers can't clear it. Oliver Benwell says, "Thanks a lot." He tickles the twine. Oakville looking awful sharp on this day. 5-0 Blades is your final. They spread out the scoring with Foss, Rollo, Benwell, Blacker, and Kosak getting singles in what was a dominant performance. Okay, the Rangers were looking a heck of a lot better the previous day when they took on the Orangeville Flyers on the road. We pick up the action in the second period. Zach Vukosa with a shot from an impossible angle here somehow beats Gianluca Baguetta. A bit of a stinker. 1-0 Flyers. Midway through the frame, though, Nick Campoli takes the feed and goes a roof daddy past Nicholas Latinovich for the sweet goal, and they're all knotted up at 1. The Rangers would pull ahead in the third frame, though. Ryan Hunt goes top shelf here. Looks like it deflects off the stick of Matthew Barnes, but Rangers will take it any way they can. And they're up 2-1, and then they pad the lead 2.5 minutes later as Keegan Blasby sets up Nick Campoli. Beautiful passing, and it's a 2-goal Rangers bulge. Derek Topatic makes it close at the end with a huge solo effort here. What a finish by the Princeton-bound D-man, but it wasn't enough. 3-2 Rangers is your final. Campoli with 2. Hunt a single for North York. Vukosa and Topatic scoring for the Orangeville Flyers. Okay, let's just take a real quick look at the top 5 scorers in the OJ right now. Rinaldi and Jeffers tied in first place with 30 points. Kudla and Rajic of Oakville with 27 points. They're tied in third. And Hardy of Georgetown in 5th place. And let's take a look at OJHL trivia for this week. And remember, we got a great prize for you this week. The question is, what team was the 2012-2013 OJHL playoff champion? So who were the Buckland Cup champions that year? And win 2 tickets to a game at the 2015 World Junior A Challenge coming up in Coburg and Whitby, December 13th to the 19th. Email Ian Westgate at iwestgate@theojhl.ca with the correct answer. Win 2 tickets to an amazing event.
Tyson Bruce, left wing, Markham Royal. What I bring to the ice as a player is I play physical hockey, I work hard, and I like to score goals.
Bruce scores! Tyson Bruce!
This season, I think we're going to make a lot of noise. We're going to be a good team and head deep in the playoffs. Coach Mike's a great coach. You know, he pushes you, makes you work hard every practice, every game.
Stay disciplined. 60 minutes tonight, guys. Let's go get them.
My teammates are the best teammates in the league. You know what? They're there for me every time, at the rink and away from the rink, and it's great having them.
Welcome back. Well, not much has gone right for either Mississauga or Milton so far this season. Milton currently finds itself looking way up at the rest of the West Division from the basement, while the Chargers sit tied for last in the South with the Patriots. Last Saturday, though, and none of that mattered. The two squads went toe-to-toe at Port Credit Arena, and it was intense from the opening puck drop. Milton hadn't won in 5 games. Mississauga had lost 11 of their last 12, and it didn't start well for them. 49 seconds in, Sean Perichak floats one in from the point. It finds the back of the net. 1-zip Ice Sox, and they were throwing the body around too as Michael Alberga lays out Brandon Yeamans with a stiff check at the blue line. On to the second we move, and Mississauga evens things up. Mike Choma goes low along the ice the whole way. I don't think Milton keeper Marcus Samayo saw that for 1 second. Screened all the way. Missy ties it up 1-1, and they got some hot goaltending from Andrew Cipollone, who stretches to make the save here. I would have been singing soprano after that one. Ouch. What a save, though. 3 minutes later, it's team captain Stefano Alonzi redirecting the point shot home, and the Chargers suddenly find themselves with a 2-1 advantage. Milton gets it back, though, on the PP. Anthony Baxter. And as they say, it's all in the wrist. Sweet shots. We're all knotted up again. 2-2. 4 minutes later, the Ice Sox apply pressure, and they just keep banging away at the puck until it crosses the line. Chargers wanted a whistle. To no avail, though. 3-2 for Milton. And then at the 17:52 mark, it's Baxter again with another wrister from the point. He beats the screen. Cipollone. Milton doubles its lead to 4-2. There was no scoring in the third, so that's how it ends up. Baxter with the deuce, Perichak and Teofilo with singles for the Ice Sox. Choma and Alonzi provide the scoring for the struggling Chargers. Okay, so Pickering heads north to take on a Markham team that struggled a bit recently. Pink in the rink day in support of cancer research in Markham. Everyone was in great spirits. The Royals sporting their beautiful pink third jerseys for the occasion. Pickering came to play on this day, just a minute 44 in. Tiger McDonald, first shot of the game, and he puts it home, and the Cats lead 1-zip before the ice is even dry. At the midway point of the period, Mitchell Waldron with a point shot that finds its way 2-0 for the Panthers. On to the second frame we go, where the Royals finally get going. Aaron Spivak to Marco Azzano, and goal. Markham cuts the lead in half to 2-1, and they were pumped, but then it's Doug Carter with one of the plays of the week. Quick feet and soft hands equals a dangerous combo. Carter goes shelf to make it 3-1 Pickering. And then a dirty one as Joel Knight loses it off his stick. John Hudgen pounces and puts it past Nathan Calito. 4-1 Pickering Panthers. That's how it was heading into the third. Royals play-by-play guru Joe Montezano. Take it away, buddy.
Up top, Bruce! Rebound! Goal! Oh, man!
Joe needs to work on upping his energy level just a little bit. I don't think he's excited enough. Awesome commentary, guys. Thanks a lot. Pickering added an empty netter. 5-2 final. Well, after upsetting the Georgetown Raiders last Friday, St. Mike's were feeling pretty good about themselves heading into their matchup with Whitby on Sunday. The Buzzers had a 3-game win streak going on and were gaining some momentum in the tough South Division. Alas, Whitby squashed those good feelings pretty quickly. Whitby currently sit last in the brutal East Division, so we're desperate to pick up 3 points to make up some ground. Pink in the rink night for the Fury as well. OJ teams making a difference for a great cause. Just a minute 9 in, Thomas Beretta feeds Noah Jordan, and it's 1-0 St. Mike's. Double blue keeper Jacob McGrath was sharp early on as well, stoning both Scott Curtin and Brock Welsh on the same rush. 2 of 13 saves he made in the first. In the second frame, though, not quite as solid. Nick Korich snaps home a quick shot that finds its way through, and it's tied up at 1, and then Whitby starts throwing the body around. Curtin lays out AJ Durazio, who actually had to leave for a bit after that hit, but he did come back. On to the third we move. St. Mike's scrambling in their own zone. Jeff Gald smokes it past McGrath to give Whitby their first lead of the game. That's Gald's second goal of the season. Under a minute later, Curtin feathers a nice pass to Luke Keenan, who finishes it off. And the Fury have a little breathing room, up 3-1, and then the Fury start getting physical. Jonathan O'Hara lays out Colton Trumbla, and moments later, it's Justin Brand throwing his weight around. St. Mike's made it 3-2, but Kevin DeMagno bides his time in front of the net here to finish it off and make it 4-2 for Whitby. That's the second shorthanded goal of the period for the Fury. And then at the 17:54 mark, they put it away for good as Keenan picks up his second of the contest. Whitby picks up 3 essential points. You lose a game in the East, you lose a lot of ground. So good news for them as they pick up 3. Final score 5-2. Korch, Keenan with 2, DeMagno and Gald for Whitby. Jordan and Searless picking up singles for the St. Mike's Buzzer. Okay, quick look at the OJ standings here. We start off with the Northeast Conference, North Division. Aurora takes over top spot from Markham, 23 points to 22. In the East Division, Trenton still rolling right along, 15-2, 3-point bulge over Kingston, who's making it close though. In the South Division, the Southwest Conference, North York, Oakville, and the JCs all within a point of each other. And in the West, Georgetown, 22 points, tied with Buffalo, Orangeville close behind. And let's take a look at some recent OJ commitments over the past week, and there were 3 of them. Liam Grand from Coburg heading to Princeton in 2016, Luke Brown of Wellington to Union that same year, and Justin Mayolino of the Junior Canadians heading to Niagara in 2016 as well. Congratulations to all 3. And a quick look at the OJHL alumni update. A couple things to mention. Greg Gibson of Robert Morris was named AHA Offensive Player of the Week in the NCAA. He played for Oakville, Hamilton, and Huntsville. And Doug Reed of the Knoxville Ice Bears was named SBHL Player of the Week. He played for Couchiching and the Markham Waxers back in the day. Welcome back to the OJ. Today I'm joined in the studio now by the commissioner of the OJHL, Marty Savoy, and we obviously coordinated this look. I mean, it's a great look for both of us. Obviously, we like the purple. Anyway, welcome to the studio.
Thanks so much, Alex. Pleasure to be here.
Couple months in now, so still early in the schedule, but what an exciting start it's been to the season so far. Trenton, 12 games. 12-1, they won straight to start things off with. I mean, they've been a great story so far, but really it's just been an exciting start to the season, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been outstanding, Alex. And Trenton Golden Hawks, year after year. Jerome DuPont and John McDonald put together one of the best teams. They're one of our flagship franchises.
They truly are, yeah.
And, whether it's on ice or off ice, they always seem to lead the league a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising to see them at the top of the standings. I think their rankings came out today. I think they're second or third nationally in the country. So, yeah, they're one of our best franchises.
And the
by
South
far.
Division is going to be killer this year with North York and Oakville and Junior Canadians fighting neck and neck already for the top spot. And we could go on forever talking about that, but a lot of exciting things happening this year. Showcases and tournaments and things like that with the OJ. Let's talk about a few of them. the first biggie was the OJHL showcase, which took place in Buffalo back in September, and that was obviously a huge hit.
Yeah, it's the first time we actually left the country to host the event, and was our governors tried to decide, we go south of the border, it's going to be a little bit more for cost and whatnot, but one of the biggest things we tried to do is put our product in front of scouts. So Larry Playfair, Michael Peck of the Buffalo Junior Sabres stepped up last year and said, hey, we'll host it in the new Harbor Center, which is if you haven't been there,
beautiful rink.
It's a first-class facility. It's the only facility in all of the CJHL that we share with a Division I school in the NCAA.
Yeah.
So we said, let's give it a try. So we went down there, we did a midweek kind of thing. We tried to wrap it around another event that was going on down there, and the amount of scouts just blew us away. We had over 200 scouts that were there.
Fantastic.
I believe there were 60-something National Hockey League scouts there. There was 80-something NCAA guys that were there, and guys were sending their entire staffs to the event.
Yeah.
So it was first class. Coming out of there's a whole bunch of kids that started making commitments, and you see afterwards the commitments that get announced coming out of an event like that.
Yeah.
So we put those on to make sure we can get our players.
True
in front
benefits
of
of having it all in one spot when you
Yeah.
do those showcases, and where they can just congregate in that one spot and see all the games they want and stuff. And obviously Buffalo's a nice, easy trip for a lot of those scouts as well to get to, right? So taking part coming up next in what used to be called the Central Canada Cup, and now it's the Eastern Canada Cup, and I believe you said that's because the Maritime Junior Hockey League has also gotten involved with it now. So that takes place the November 16th to the 18th. It's going on in Cornwall. Talk about that and the format, about what's going on in that.
Sure. What that is actually one of the steps going into the Team Canada East selection process. So we have to identify the players possibly for that team. So the 5 leagues got together and said, the best way to do this is do a best-on-best competition, which the old all-star tournaments used to be pretty boring, to be a non-hit type of thing. And again, going back to the showcase, we're trying to put events together that are going to be high-level, high events for scouts to watch. So what we decided is we got together as 5 leagues and said, let's hold an all-star tournament. We only play 2 20-minute periods, so it's very, very high-level hockey.
Excellent.
And the Team Canada East coaches come out and they evaluate the players that get invited to the main camp.
We should point out when we say Team Canada East, this is for the World Junior A
The World
Challenge,
Junior A
which we're going to
Challenge,
get to in just a second.
Exactly.
But yeah, so go on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so what happens is we're going to be going into Cornwall. We hosted it last year. It's a midweek event, so we try to get away from many times we pull these top-end players along from the current teams, because 2-3 points in our league makes a huge difference in the standings.
Yeah.
So what's happening now is that we're going to get there and they play. There's 9 teams going in. We send 4 teams. We send the most because we're the biggest league, obviously.
Yeah.
And our goal is not to go and win it. Our goal is to showcase 80 of our players for Team Canada East, and also in front of all the scouts that will be there. So it's going to be an exciting event. I know every year we go, it's always outstanding to see the difference between playing 60 minutes compared to 40 minutes, the intensity
You can
of
just
the
let
games.
it all hang out in those 40 minutes, can't you? Yeah.
The kids are pretty amazing how quick they can go.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, World Junior A Challenge. It's going to be taking place this December. If you don't know about it, check out the league website. This is a massive, massive tournament going on. The best Junior A players in the world are going to be descending on Cobourg and Whitby December 13th to the 19th. We've got Canada East, Canada West, Russia, USA, the Czechs, the Swiss. It's going to be a dynamite tournament. Talk about it.
Yeah, you know what? We were really excited, Alex, when we first approached Whitby and Cobourg and said, would you be willing to host? This is a huge event. It's a huge international event. Like you said, it's the biggest event at the Junior A level in the world. And so when you're hosting these teams and the IHF comes in and everything, it's a lot of work, but we want to bring it for our fans and our volunteers and everything to be able to experience something like this. We always say it's the closest thing to the World Junior Championships that we're going to be able to get to. Our guys with the Team Canada jerseys, they split off and they represent Team Canada East. We go through the entire selection process for it. Cobourg and Whitby have been doing an outstanding job getting everything together. As you can appreciate, there's a ton of logistics that go around it. But through the leadership of both those committees have been outstanding. Tickets are on sale now. There's small venues for something like this. I know Cobourg here was about 2,500, maybe 2,000. Whitby's about 1,500, so they are going to go fast. We've already seen an increase in ticket sales right now. So if you want to see some outstanding hockey, this is the event to go to.
There have been hundreds, literally hundreds of draft picks that have gone from this tournament over the years. It's been going on for a few years now, hundreds of draft picks. It is top-notch hockey. Last year, for example, even the Danish team had major junior players playing, made it all the way to the final against the States. They had guys from the Portland Winterhawks and from the Quebec Junior League as well. So there's all sorts of players playing in this tournament, especially for the international teams. It's really top-notch hockey. We should mention as well, trivia. You got to watch the show every week because we are giving away. We're not giving it away. You got to actually win it, of course. First person to email incorrect answers from the trivia contest every week wins 2 tickets to a World Junior A Championship game. So get on it. Make sure you watch the show every week. One more thing to talk about quickly, I know you wanted to get into, was 5 OJHL players on the Central Scouting preliminary list, player to watch list, which makes the league and yourself extremely proud, obviously.
Yeah, you know, usually we get 2 or 3 on there, and this year we have actually 5 come out on the first watch list, which is a big number for us. It just kind of shows the talent that we have in the league.
Right.
Kids coming into this league now, they spend so much time on their training and their development, and for the National Hockey League Central Scouting to recognize 5 of our players, again, I think a lot of that comes out of what they saw in the showcase. You know, there's, when you talk about 67 NHL guys there, they get a good look at these players.
Yep.
And when you know, now with 22 teams here, every night is a battle for these kids and what's developing, and we're seeing more of our kids move on.
Yeah, I wish we could keep talking. We're almost out of time. Thanks so much for being here.
problem.
We're definitely going to do this again, obviously.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Marty. More J Today coming up. Just a second. Welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, 2 years ago, it really couldn't get much worse for the Orangeville Flyers. 4 wins in 53 games marked one of the worst seasons the league had seen in some time. But along came a coaching change, a revamped roster, and voila, Orangeville went from doormat to playoff bound by the next season. We find out the reasons behind their quick turnaround now in this week's Team Report, brought to you by Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk, official sponsor of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. When you win 4 times in 53 games, there's nowhere to go but up. That was what the Orangeville Flyers were facing 2 years ago after a disastrous campaign. Flyers GM Dana Baker knew big changes were needed if the team was to rebound. And with the hiring of well-respected coach Jamie Caruso, change is exactly what they got.
They gave me the green light to do as I wished, so we made a decision to do a complete rebuild. Which was built from the ground up. I wasn't picky on whether I was going to bring back 1 returning Flyer or 8 returning Flyers. So we went out, we did a lot of recruiting. Luckily, we were able to bring in some top midget players, which is how you have to do it in this league, and just build that way. And luckily, we were able to secure the guys that we wanted.
The turnaround was, in a word, stunning. Caruso was runner-up for Coach of the Year. The Flyers finished 2nd in the West Division, made the playoffs, and lost a 7-game heartbreaker against the Oakville Blades in the first round, a series the Flyers had led 3-1. Still, the season was a resounding success, considering where they'd been the year before.
I knew we were going to be a disciplined, hard-working team. We lacked experience, but you know what? We mustered out 25 wins, and then in the playoffs against Oakville, you know, we fought hard and battled these guys to 7 games, and they had to beat us, you know, with 9 seconds left in the 3rd period. So it was an A+ year for everybody.
This season, the Flyers have built on the success of last year. Currently, they're challenging for top spot in the West and showed their strength by becoming the first team in the league so far to beat powerful Trenton, ending their 12-game win streak.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is going to be experience, because last year we had 14 or 15 rookies, and most of those guys are back, and all of them are obviously a year older and have a year of experience under the belt. So now we have the same team dynamic, except these guys aren't feeling like, you know, they gotta squeeze their stick every shift because it's one of their first games in the league or anything like that. We all kind of know what it's like. He likes us to play simple, especially last year. You know, we weren't going to be in the position to make a lot of skilled plays at the blue line and blow teams out. So we'd keep it simple, chip pucks deep, you know, do our roles, and worry about the team first and all that kind of little stuff like that.
If pucks do get in deep, you are the first one on it, and you know you're going to have support right beside it. Okay? Let's get off to a good start, boys. Continue with our good first period. Line for the Paddock, Farm, and stop.
Lucas Smilski is once again leading the way for the Red Hot Flyer squad.
Lucas Smilski has led our team in scoring the past 2 seasons. He's still a relatively young player. He's a 97 birth year. He's just a dynamic offensive hockey player. He can make something out of nothing. Lucas, again, is a great kid from a great family. He's got 2 younger brothers that play AAA hockey, so parents are very busy, but we're looking for Lucas to have another big year for our team.
Team captain Derek Topatic previously played for Caruso with the Mississauga Rebels AAA team, and the defenseman is a recent Princeton commit.
Derek just brings an honest work ethic to every practice, every game. You know, he's not a real vocal leader, but again, I told the guys before, I'm not really interested in a guy that can scream and yell. You want to lead by example, show the players you're committed to the team, committed to the program, and Derek's just a wonderful kid to be around.
Future Dartmouth Big Green forward James McLaughlin has been another key offensive cog along with Smilski.
James is a great player. He's got a lot of offensive capabilities. He's really a hard worker, and he also brings a lot of leadership. He's a really vocal guy in the dressing room and just brings a great atmosphere, great personality to the team. He's got a good group of passers around him, really feed him the puck, and he definitely has that killer instinct. He can bear down and score, which makes him a huge asset to the team.
How far can this Flyers team go this year? Well, if their early season play is any indication, don't count the young squad out for a second.
Well, our goal since the end of last season was we want to be a contender this year, and we're bringing back a lot of pieces from last year. So we have the skill and kind of we know what it takes to win. So we're looking to use our skill and the growth that we got last year, just from all the experiences to be a contender.
Okay, and just before we go, we'll look at the top 5 plays from the last week in the OJ. Number 5, Oakville against North York. Tyler Rollo feathers a pass to Ian Blacker for his very first OJHL goal. Nice pass, better finish. Part of Oakville's 5-0 win. Number 4, Orangeville's Derek Topatic does it all himself against the Rangers, going coast to coast for the sweet score. Number 3, same game, Ryan Hunt goes top shelf against the Flyers to put up the Rangers, and they'd hold on for the 3-2 win. Number 2, Pickering's Doug Carter with a huge solo effort against Markham, and then he roofs it past Nathan Colito. Sweet goal, all part of a 5-2 Panthers win. And number 1, Mississauga's Andrew Cipollone sacrificing his manhood to make the massive save against Milton. How he stretched this far, I don't even want to know. Take another look. Cipollone, ouch. What a stop, though. That is definitely our OJ play of the week. And that's all the time we've got for this week. Remember, though, to head to the league website at ojhl.ca for all the up-to-date news, stats, and standings, on Twitter at OJHL Official, and at facebook.com/OJHL Official. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I will see you next week.